Hello again, everyone. I'm now joined by Sammi Kinghorn, who was our 2017 Swiss Sportswoman of the Year in lockdown, in the borders. Sammi, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going pretty well. It's actually really nice to spend some time with my family, and obviously normally this time of year I would be there about and everywhere. So it's very different to what I had envisioned for this year. But yeah, I'm actually enjoying a bit of time just to take a step back.
And if you could take your mind back to a couple of years ago when you won the Sportswoman of the Year, what was it like for you?
2017 is by far my best year yet. It was an incredible year for me to be able to compete at home games, to win 2 gold medals and a bronze, and then to come home and actually, like, when you're in a bubble of competing, you don't understand, what impact it's having on the public or people back home, and you almost forget that people are watching you. And you do, when you do sport, you do it obviously to be on that podium, and you do it for yourself and your family, but you forget about all the other recognition that you could get. And so when I came home and I started being put up for awards and things, it was just so surreal. It was a really strange feeling for me to think all these other people have noticed what I'm doing and think it's admirable. Which, yeah, it was an incredible year. It still kind of almost seems like a dream to me.
And there aren't that many awards out there where it's purely women in sport. So this makes, I suppose, the Swiss one unique.
Yeah, completely. And you know, when I was growing up, I was always driven, like, watching, and like my biggest person in sport was Beth Tweddle when I was younger, and I remember just watching her and the things she achieved. Being the first female gymnast to win a medal for Britain, and all these kind of things. I was always driven by very my mum's a very, very strong person, and so I was always driven by very small, like, strong people. And yeah, Swiss is just something that it's important. It's really important that they get the recognition, because sometimes, because we're not always splashed all over the TV or an advertisement, that when it comes to awards, people don't always recognize us, or people don't always know what we've done or achieved. So then we don't end up winning some awards, which I think's it's not good, because if you look at what we've achieved alongside the men, although without any of the extra sponsorship or the advertisement or anything else, we have achieved just the exact same, if not more.
How would you assess 2017 in terms of, not necessarily a turning point, but it was a kind of big year going forward for you, mentally, perhaps?
Oh, completely. I think it was the first year where, I think after Rio, after the Paralympic Games in 2016, I was, oh gosh, terrified by that whole experience. I was sick before every single race in Rio, and it was really scary. And I remember after my 800 meters, which was my last race, and I made the final, which no one was sure I was going to do. And I went and sat up in the stadium and sat with my dad and watched the girls who had just competed against. And these are the girls I've been idolising for so long. Instead of seeing myself on the same level as them, I just constantly idolised them. So I'd got into the call room and I'd just been like, these are incredible women, instead of actually being like, I'm an incredible woman. If they can do it, then so can I. And I deserve to be here because I've tried and worked just as hard as them. And I'd completely forgotten about that going into Rio. All I thought about was, oh my goodness, I've seen all these women on the telly. They're incredible women. And I think after Rio won in 2017, it was the year where I was like, no, you know what? This is what I want. I'm going to push myself as hard as I know my body can take. And I am, I'm an incredible woman as well, and I can achieve the things that I want to achieve. And that was a year that I understood that being mentally prepared was better than being physically prepared. I was always physically prepared. I know how to be physically prepared, but to know how to really believe in yourself and your own abilities in each stage of competition, yeah, it was a massive turning point, 2017, for that.
And sometimes they say you learn more from setbacks and disappointments than you do from successes. I guess resetting the button for Tokyo and not going to Tokyo this year, how are you viewing that?
Yeah, I think you're always able to learn because you know how much, maybe the upset hurt you, and you know how much you want it. I think it's that, if you've just been handed everything on a plate, then you don't always know how much you want it. But missing out on the opportunities always gives you that, no, that is something I really, really want. And, Tokyo this year, it was always our plan, me and my coach, when I first started, I went to Rio, I know I never ever expected to medal. I only ever expected to try and just make finals. And our aim all along was going to Tokyo. That's all it ever was. It was, I'll show who I am in Tokyo. London even was a complete surprise to us. So yeah, for about 5-6 years, Tokyo has been the main aim. And my parents and friends and family all booked their tickets last year. They were all set to go. And then you just kind of come in, I went to Australia for a few weeks in January to make sure that I was in the best physical form, that I wasn't, missing out on any training because of the bad weather in Scotland. I felt like I put everything on the line to be as best as I possibly could. And it's quite disheartening when, something like that is just kind of like crushed back down. But it's the same for everyone. And I guess I'm just trying to take it in a way of, I'm lucky that I'm only 24, and another year isn't going to be a massive impact on my performance. Hopefully it might actually help my performance. I've got an extra year, a bit more maturity, I can get fitter and healthier. So I guess I'm lucky for my age is on my side just now. But it's of course it's disheartening because 2020 and everyone was speaking about it, and especially Paralympic sport, it's just gone up and up and up, and after London and things. So it's really exciting to see how far it's going to go. So I worry about everything just taking a step back because there's nothing really happening for para sport this year.
Yeah, but it is, you will still be going, and it is still next year, and it will still happen. Mm-hmm. And you've got to look forward to now. So
yeah, exactly. And that's so exciting. I'm so glad it is. We've got the dates and they're pretty much the same dates, and I'll just do it all. This year's just a practice year. I know exactly how I trained in January, and I'll just do it all over again.
So what have you been doing in lockdown in terms of training? How's that been working out? Because we've had mixed weather, we've had a lot of good weather, we've had a lot of rain recently, but how's that all fitting in?
Yeah, we've been really lucky with the weather, which makes it so much easier. It's really weird because I'm kind of doing a block of winter training, which normally is just like on rollers the whole time because the weather's so rubbish, whereas I'm actually getting the opportunity to do winter training but in the sun and doing the long miles and actually really starting to enjoy the roads. It's funny going back to mum and dad's and training on roads that I remember, like honestly I went out with my dad a few weeks ago and I probably have only done this route that we've done maybe once, and I cried pushing up the hill. And I think that's why I didn't do it again, because I was like, I can't do it, I'm rubbish, I'm not strong enough. And I genuinely cried going up the hill, and I got up it absolutely fine last week. And Dad was like, look how far you've come, and it's given me that whole a bit of time to actually do the routes that I used to do when I was younger and actually see the improvement. Whereas I don't often get the opportunity to see the improvements unless you're obviously in competition and getting personal bests. But just them little improvements, like, oh my gosh, I'm actually stronger and I'm not crying as much on any hills and not being able to do things. So yeah, I'm lucky enough that I've got a gym and everything in the garage at mum and dad's. So my mum's being my S&C coach just now. And so that's been different. She just panics all the time. It's so funny, if I'm lifting and so I've still got my S&C coach who's sending me sessions, and then mum's just spotting me. And if it's a very heavy week and I look like I'm struggling, just the smallest little bit, mum just lifts the bar off me. And I'm like, mum, I need to struggle. And she's like, I don't like seeing you struggle. I don't like seeing you. She's such a mum, but I think she's actually really enjoying doing something different. And Dad's coming out on the bike and things with me as well. So it's been quite fun.
And you're not living in the worst part of the world in terms of your roots and the area that you live in and what you can see. Although you're focused on your training, but your environment outside down there is pretty nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing, and I'm so I live in a flat up in Glasgow with not a garden or anything. So I've had the opportunity to be able to actually have social distancing, cup of tea with my friends in the garden. Whereas if I was in Glasgow, I would have been very on my own. So that's been really nice to be able to actually see people and spend a bit of time with people, and yeah, the surrounding areas. And I've been able to. I got home in time for lambing, so I got to help. Lockdown happened just as lambing was finishing, so I actually got a bit of that. Whereas I was planning on going out to Tokyo and then going out to Spain to train and things, so I would have missed all of that. But lockdown happened just before lambing had finished, so I got to go home and really be involved in the farm. And then I've been there for clipping and shearing time and helped Dad move around sheep loads, and it's something that I really, really enjoy doing. So it's been really nice for me.
Well, that was a bonus. Are the targets for Tokyo still the same then?
Yeah, these targets for Tokyo are to try and push myself as hard as possible and try and get as close to the middle of that podium as possible. For me, it's still you know, to be a Paralympic medalist is the dream. To be a Paralympic gold medalist is, you know, that would be incredible for me. I'm not saying that Tokyo is it, because I'm hoping that I'll make it to Paris and then LA after that. So, you know, I know I've got, you know, a long journey still ahead of me, and I know I still have a lot to learn, which is really exciting. But the thought of Tokyo makes me want to medal. You know, it makes me want to push as hard as I can to be on that podium, because I watched the girls I raced in Rio win Paralympic medals, and you can see how much that means to them. And yeah, London, to put a medal around my neck and sing our national anthem was incredible, and you know, I would do anything to get that feeling again.
Well, we will be watching your progress over the, maybe not so closely right now, but over the next sort of year or so, to see how you're getting on and keeping tabs on you. And thank you very much indeed for talking to us today, Sammi.
Thank you very much. Thanks.